Hello everybody, Anthony Gonzalez here with another weekly update. A while ago I mentioned that we have somebody in our office who focuses almost exclusively on bringing federal grant dollars back into the 16th District. And I was happy to see that we had 4 more awards this week come through. 2 of the awards are going to go towards providing adaptive sports programs for veterans, in particular wounded veterans. 2 different grants going towards that initiative, which are outstanding right in our community. So really excited about that. And another one is for 2 more grants for combating domestic violence. So 4 grants in total, close to $1 million going back into the community on those 2 very important initiatives. Additionally, this week we were back from our district work period. So we're back in DC. I spearheaded a letter with some of my freshman colleagues, bipartisan letter, based on a New York Times story on child exploitation that's taking place online. A story came out, and basically what we found of what's been reported, over 10 million images of child pornography being shared online on Facebook and on different platforms. I think the number's actually much higher than that. That's just what was actually reported. And so we sent a letter out to the Judiciary Committee and Homeland Security Committee asking them to hold hearings to look into this very serious issue. I can't imagine as a new parent just the horror that you would feel knowing that your child has been put in that situation. Just absolutely repulsive what's happening online in so many different ways. And so hopefully we'll get some hearings on that, and we'll continue to keep pushing the dialogue on that specifically. And then finally, we introduced a bill to combat suicide rates. So suicide rates are spiking all over the country, over an 80% rise in certain populations in our community over the years. And again, I think there's a lot of decay happening across the entire country in various sectors. And I think you're seeing that filter down into some pretty terrible actions like suicide. And so this really hit home for me, in a variety of ways. I have a lot of conversations when I'm back home, meeting with different groups about mental health issues and things like that. And we all know we have a mental health crisis in this country. But where this really hit home was actually one of my last visits. I was talking to somebody from the Farm Bureau. Typically when I meet with constituency groups like the Farm Bureau, you're talking about trade and USMCA and things like that, primarily economic issues. And as the meeting was ending, the young lady I was talking to handed me a card and said, this is actually a big initiative for us as well, which is farmers committing suicide. And it was the first I'd heard of that specifically in the agriculture community. And I think it really hit home for me that this is hitting every single area of our country and our region. And so we as a team got together and said, okay, what can we do to look into this, to study it, and to hopefully combat these spiking suicide rates. We have to have this going in the other direction. Right now, what is happening is unsustainable, and it's sad. So that's kind of what we've been working on this week. Again, as always, thank you for allowing me to be your representative, and I hope everybody has a great weekend.